Instagram Live, we've got a Facebook Live, and now I've got my microphone out, which means we're also going to record a Spotify podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so back at everybody now. Okay, so we're going live for the very first Q&A session of 2023. I'm going to be talking a little bit about angels, archangels, and then gonna have the floor open for questions. So please feel free to put any questions that you might have on the topic into the comment box. So welcome everybody. Good evening. Okay, so I've got a few questions that have already been sent through during the week. So I'll go through those in a second. So let's get started. Okay, so what are angels? Angels are basically beings who have been created by God just as we are, okay? One only difference, their main aim, the reason why they were created, is so that they could protect the earth, okay? So angels are purely beings that are messengers from God, okay, or source or universe or creator, whatever you like to call, the source of all things. And they're basically permanently within the earth realm to basically protect us and guide us. So they look after the earth, the people that inhabit the earth, all living things on the earth. So basically, flora or fauna. Hello, everybody. Hi, Emma. And I'll wave at you all now. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. If you guys have any questions about the topic tonight, which is all about angels and the archangels, just pop a comment in the comment box and I will answer them for you. Okay, so they exist basically for us to look after us. Now, as most of you might know, there are different kinds of angels. So we'll talk a little bit about the archangels. Archangels are basically, I, in a spiritual sense, like to describe them as facets of the archetypical mind of God. Okay, so what does that mean? That's pretty complicated, right? Okay, so if we look at source or the universe or God as a whole, as oneness, as unity, it is made up of so many different little parts. So are we. We're exactly the same. There's so many little things that go into being who we are that make us who we are. Okay, so if we look at God as energy, because we're energetic beings as well, if we look at the pure healing energy that makes up the whole of God, I would call that energy Archangel Raphael. Okay, so he is the Archangel of healing. If we look at the pure strength, protection energy of God, then I would call that Archangel Michael. So that energy would be known as Archangel Michael. Okay, so he's the Archangel of strength and protection. Now, I'll go through quickly some of the most popular archangels and describe kind of what they're in charge of, what their area of expertise or what their energy is. And so I'll start with Archangel Metatron. He's a really interesting archangel. He is kind of the leader of all angels. He deals with a lot of like kind of energy healing, energy clearing. When there's a lot of energy that needs to be cleared, you'd call upon him to kind of help you raise, clear, and balance your energy and shift you into a new energetic direction. He was actually the only angel that has ever been a human being. Okay, so traditionally humans cannot be angels, but this particular human being was chosen by God to be an angel, and his name on earth was Amos. Okay, so a lot of different texts mention him, talk about him. So Archangel Metatron He kind of gives instruction to all the different archangels, so he's kind of their leader, okay? And he oversees everything. Um, really, you know, if he comes through to Earth, it's for a very good reason, and it's all to do with energy healing. So good one for people who are into kind of Reiki or any sort of energy healing, to call upon him to shift some energy that you need shifted. Archangel Michael, as I mentioned before, is the archangel of strength and protection. He's depicted with a sword. He's not an aggressive angel by any sense, but I like to look at his sword as a spiritual sword. So a sword of strength, light, that brings about goodness through his strength and protection, okay? Because we all go through life and sometimes we need strength and we need that protection because we're doing something or working on something important, or we want to come from a strength-based mentality as opposed to a fear-based mentality. Um, okay, so let's have a look. More people have joined. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Marita. Hi, Kenny. Okay, so we've got Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel, she's got that beautiful feminine energy. She's all about love, okay, and most definitely self-love as well. So she's got that real feminine beauty about her. Her colors are like pink and purple when she comes through. If you're clairvoyant and you'll see those colors. And she's also represented by the lion. So when I've seen her, I've seen a lion approach me and then metamorphose into this beautiful angel with pinks and yellows and golds and purples. Um, and she comes into our life when we need to learn more about self-love or how to open up our hearts to offer others love. Okay, so a very important aspect of our archetype. So then we've got Archangel Raphael. Archangel Raphael is the healer angel. So he's all about healing. If anything is in need of healing or clearing, then you call upon Archangel Raphael to come through and provide you with either physical, mental, emotional healing. And his colors all green. So if you're clairvoyant and you'll see green. That's Archangel Raphael. He's very much present with people who work in the healing modalities, and he likes to come through and support and guide them when they ask and they need that help because they are working in healing so many other people. Archangel Gabriel. A lot of There's a lot of what can I say, kind of controversy over whether Gabriel is a male or female, and I think in some texts and some imagery, I like to refer her to as a she because when I see her, she's female, as male. So for me, Gabriel has a feminine energy. She looks female to me, very soft energy. She's like a yellowy, whitey hue when she comes through, and she's there in an instant when you have some important creative work to work on, whether it is writing. Oh, it's very interesting. Yep. Emma, absolutely. I've had someone roll their eyes at me and be like, it's a she. I thought it was a he. But if you do Google, you'll see her depicted as female in some of those images on Google. But yep, when I do see her, she's definitely female. She likes to carry around a trumpet to make herself known. So she's like the herald who brings in messages, and she basically deals with all forms of communication, but also creativity. Okay, so as I said before, if you're wanting to create something new, and that could be, not just a piece of art or some sort of communication piece, but it could be you're trying to create a new life for yourself, and you're in need of ideas, you're in need of thinking outside the box in order to create that newness for yourself. You would call upon Archangel Gabriel, invite her in and her energy in to help guide you and help create this newness that you're wanting in your life. So she's a fantastic one to connect with at the start of the year when you're setting intentions for yourself and wanting to set some goals for yourself. Okay, so then we've got Archangel Azrael, which, yes, he is written about as being the angel of death or the Grim Reaper. But, if we look further into Azrael, he's also the archangel of changes and transitions. And, death is just a change and transition, but we've, popularized the concept of death as being this foreboding, dooming thing. Whereas if you're really into your spirituality and you believe that there's life after this existence, then death is just a transition and a change. And Azrael comes through to help us through those changes and transitions. And, I've felt him around at funerals to kind of help with the mourning and the grieving process. I'm saying he's here. There is love for us. We are comforted when we mourn. We very much are so. And if you're struggling with your mourning, you can call in Archangel Azrael to help comfort you through the mourning and help you to stay connected to your loved one if that is what you're needing. So, Azrael, he's a good one to have around when you're going through some big major life changes and you're needing to move your life off into new directions. So, you can call upon him and invite him in to help with that. Archangel Jeremiah, he is a lesser known archangel, but he's the archangel of visions and dreams, visual signs. If you're clairvoyant and you have visions, he's the one to call in to help you make your visions clearer. He communicates with us through visual symbols. Okay, now we've got Archangel Uriel. Okay, so he's a very interesting archangel whom I've seen recently, had the pleasure of doing some work with, and he's amazing. He is the men's archangel. He's also the archangel of mental wisdom. He's a very wise, he's got very wise counsel. He advocates change through the wisest course. He's represented by the owl. So each archangel has an animal symbol. Like I said, Ariel was the lion. I've seen a lion morph into this beautiful woman. But with Uriel, he's represented by the wise old owl. If you're seeing owls everywhere, Uriel might be trying to communicate with you with his wisdom and share some wisdom with you. So he's really good. He's a real good one for male mental health. So if you have a male in your life who's suffering with a mental health problem, you can call upon Archangel Uriel to come through and help in that situation, to give you advice to be able to support your loved one. And he he heals relationships with the male ancestral line. So if you feel like the males in your family have some karma that needs to be healed and cleared, then Archangel Uriel is definitely one to call upon to help to clear that ancestral karma if it's linked through all the males, to break through all the patterns that do evolve from generation to generation. So interesting, right? Okay, so then we've got Archangel Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel, now she's the archangel of beauty. So she helps you to see the beauty in all things, the finer details, and most of the times the beauty is in the details. So she helps to alert you to the fact that look closer, be patient, and see the beauty in what's really happening. Okay, so he helps you see the deeper meanings of all things. Archangel Raziel. Now he's an interesting one. Um, he he's the archangel of spiritual gifts. So if you want to know what your spiritual gifts are, everybody has spiritual gifts. If you're open to honing in on your gifts and making them a little bit more clearer and stronger, then you can call upon Archangel Raziel to help shine the light on what your gifts are and kind of help you, guide you through developing your gifts. Now, he's very good at combining more than two elements to create magic, to create amazing miracles, I would call them. He's a good one to have in your archangel directory to call upon. Now, you might have heard of divine intervention. What I want to quickly say about that is there is a universal law of free will. Okay, so we all have free will. They're not allowed to interfere with our free will. Um, so if you are thinking, oh, the angels are controlling me and they're going to lead me on a path that I'm not ready for, that would never happen. So angels are not allowed to interfere with our free will. They help influence us in the best possible course, or our highest purpose, as I like to say. If we set intentions, they come through and help us to achieve those intentions. We need to call them in to work with us, to help us. Otherwise, then they don't interfere. If they are trying to help us, they do it so subtly, or guide us, they do it very subtly. So if you're seeing repeated numbers everywhere, you're seeing feathers float through the air, and you're just feeling really at peace, a really warm feeling of peace, then you know your angels are around. They're trying to communicate something with you. They're trying to guide you onto the right path. One of my favorites, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen, is the 1111. So the 1111 sign, when you see that, it's typically confirmation from your angels and your guides that you are on the right path. It's a good number to see. And all the numbers mean something different. So go into Google when you're seeing them and just type angel number, for example, 333 or 78 or whatever it is that keeps reoccurring for you, and you'll get a whole ton of different definitions, and they mostly all say the same thing. So it's really good to look it up when that happens, so you are aware of what they're trying to communicate with you. And they're always messages of uplifting messages of encouragement and support. Okay, so they have our highest purpose and our highest intention at heart, always. So, divine intervention, rarely does it happen, but they may intervene if you are on a path that is so important to the grand scheme of things, where they need to intervene and either protect you, um, or from, say, a negative energy or a negative event happening, because it's important that you are here and that you are doing what you need to do. They will intervene. Okay, so if you have a mission and your soul is, you've already made a soul contract with yourself that you're coming onto this earth to, say, for example, be a teacher of some sort. um, Ringing noise, is that how they intervene? If you're hearing a ringing noise and it's not coming from outside of you, but it's coming from inside of you, and you're hearing it in your ears, that is typically your vibration shifting. And yes, you're probably receiving information at a spiritual level, Emma. So that was Emma that asked, ringing noise, is that how they intervene? Yeah, they're trying to communicate, and your energy, your vibration is shifting so that you can kind of receive your messages, the messages that you're trying to receive. Definitely. I had Emma on that topic. Last week I was giving somebody a reading. I think it was a soul purpose reading, and we were discussing something, and my left ear just rang so loudly that I couldn't hear anything else but the ringing, and it was only for about 5 seconds. And I was like, oh, they're trying to bring through more information. And it's just coming through at such a fast rate. I have to shift my vibration, slow down, and just receive. So I just sat there for a few seconds, apologized to the lady I was giving the reading. So you need to give me a few seconds. They're trying to filter through more information, and I just need to stop and align. And then it all just came through. So yeah, only briefly and suddenly, absolutely, Emma. Okay, so that's a little bit about each of the archangels, or the main ones. I've got some questions that people have sent through to me this week that I will answer. But if you guys have questions about anything I've said also, just pop a comment in the comment box. We're talking all things angels tonight. So one question I got was, how do you know what angels are around you? Okay, this is a really interesting question. Okay, so if you're wanting to know which angels are around you, firstly, yes, you can call them in to help you, right? And they will come. And they will help you with whatever it is that you need help with, as long as it's for your highest purpose. Okay. So for me, clearly, if you've got some spiritual gifts and you're quite sensitive, you can feel the energy of each angel, and they feel slightly different. So you know, oh, yep, that feels like Ariel. I'm feeling warm and fuzzy, and I'm feeling lots of love and care and nurture, that feminine energy, for example. And if you're clairvoyant and you see them as well, yes, they look a certain way. However, for most people, if you want to find out which angels are with you and who's working with you, then you might want to ask yourself some questions and write them down. So the questions would be, um, what are the patterns? Okay, what are the patterns that currently exist in my life? Okay, repeated patterns. What do I need to learn more of right now? What am I trying to achieve this year, for example? Okay. All right, let me give you some examples of repeated patterns. Weak boundaries. Okay, this is a common one that comes up in a lot of my readings for mostly women. A lot of women who have that, lots of love to give, real givers, real nurturers, do unfortunately have weak boundaries, okay? And so that get taken advantage, their line gets crossed quite regularly, and they're left feeling quite empty and resentful. In that situation, Archangel Ariel would be hanging around wanting to help you form strong, healthy boundaries, okay? And you can call her in to help you work with those. If you're aware of these work boundaries, then these weak boundaries, then you better believe that Archangel Ariel is there helping you to be aware of it and heal you through that process so that you can create new and healthy boundaries. Okay, so another common pattern I see is responding to events from a place of fear as opposed to a place of strength. Okay, so for example, COVID, Corona, a lot of people were scared. That's a common feeling, right? If you're realizing that you're also responding to most events in your life from a place of fear as opposed to a place of strength, then Archangel Michael would be the one that would be around you, helping you to gain that strength, to remind you to use strength instead of fear. Okay. Um, Now, another repeated pattern would be unhealthy choices that lead to poor health or disease. Archangel Raphael would be hanging around you, like that, good angel on your shoulder. Don't eat that extra donut. Your sugar levels are going high, for example. Okay. So, Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, would be around you to help you make better, healthier choices for yourself. And if this is an area that you're struggling, you can call him in and say, I'm ready to work with you. Let's do this. Okay. Now, another one that's common for both women and men that I see, not speaking your truth or internalizing your opinions or feelings. Okay, so this is all about the communication energy center, which is located at your throat. If you're stifling in that energy and you're not speaking up when you should, you're not sharing your truth with others. You're choosing to bite your tongue, hold it all in, and you're just having trouble communicating maybe with somebody you care about, or somebody who's giving you a hard time. I would say, Archangel Gabriel would be the one that's hanging around you to help you overcome this pattern. Okay, she's the archangel of communication and speaking your truth. So, another pattern, bitterness, inability to forgive others, and holding on to bitterness. So Archangel Jeremiah would be around you. Jeremiel, that's Jeremiel. He would be ready to work with you on letting go of that bitterness and allowing forgiveness to flow. Now, with forgiveness, it's a really, really important spiritual concept. When you make the choice to forgive, and work on the process of forgiveness, you actually raise your vibration. Okay, once you're in, when your vibration raises, you get lighter, you feel lighter, you feel free. It's a really uh, freeing, it's an act of freedom, really. When you vibe higher, you're able to have more energy to be able to share with others and to be able to kind of tap more into your intuition and your inner guidance. So forgiveness is a very important thing to try and work on if you can. It's easy to say, it's not so easy to do. And sometimes we need to forgive things that have happened to us that it's actually not anybody's fault. They've just happened, okay? And we all have a soul contract, and we before we incarnate here on earth, and we ask for certain events to happen so that our soul can grow. Thank you, whoever love hearted me. And we can grow closer and vibe higher and ascension, right? And growth. That's what life is about. Um, okay, so let's have a look. I've got just had a question asked. So, Megan, hi Megan. Any resources you can recommend for a list of angels and what they can help with? Doreen Virtue has amazing books. She's written so many books on angels, Megan. So Megan has asked any resources you can recommend for a list of angels and what they can help with. I would start going through Doreen Virtue's books. She's got some really in-depth books about angels. I read a really good one a while back, and she talks about archangels, but she also talks about all the other angels that look after the flowers, look after other things that are living things. So definitely have a look through um, her book list, Megan. All right. Is there any other questions from anybody who is live? Yeah, I heard that Megan, that Doreen had a good switch and doesn't do that anymore, but I read her stuff and I think her stuff is spot on, and all power to whatever direction she's going in now. And I have my own theories about that, Megan, but not on a live. Um, um, but the stuff that she's written in the past is quite good. So she's written a lot of stuff. Megan, something that you should read too is her book on the chakras and energy healing, and all the energy centers in the body and how to heal through any trauma that's been stuck in each energy center. So that's a good one too, the chakra book. Is there anybody else who is live who has a question before I go on with? Oh, thank you for all the love hearts, whoever that is. Thank you. Um, who would like for me to answer a question? Cindy, you still read her books and use her cards. Yes, so do I. She was in a good space and she wrote some amazing literature and she produced some beautiful cards. So just because she doesn't believe in all of that anymore doesn't mean we can't support the literature that she did produce, which I believe is quite good and spot on. So Emma is asking, how do you know if they are all around at the same time? Oh goodness. Look, angels, just like the universe, just like source, just like God, have omnipresence. So you can have 5 to 10 angels around you all at the same time, working on a different facet of your life. If you've got varying patterns, varying things that you're needing to learn right now, you betcha you've got at least a few angels around you. So other things that I wrote that are common about, things that you need to learn. So for example, if you know you need to learn self-love, okay, you've got Archangel Ariel, or confidence, you've got Archangel Ariel in your corner. If you know you need to learn more about patience, you've got Archangel Jophiel in your corner, and you set up events in your life so that you do learn to become more patient, so that you do learn to become more loving of yourself. If you know you need to speak up more, then you've got Archangel Gabriel to work with. But you could be needing all these things simultaneously and have these angels there, but you need to be ready. Your soul needs to be ready. Okay, Kenny has asked a question. Do they each have their own distinct vibration that you can feel and use to know who is around? Yes, absolutely yes. Okay, so earlier in the live, I did mention that they each have a distinct energy. Um, so if you are, say, in meditation, or you're in your dream state and you do come across an angel, or a spirit that you feel quite strongly, ask, who are you? I would like to know who you are. And they will always tell you. Okay. And that leads to my next question, actually, because somebody did send through a very interesting question that is related to that one, and that is, where is it? Do angels appear physically the same to all people who can see them, or do they look different? Okay, so look, once you've come in contact with the angel, you're aware of who they are. And if you're quite a sensitive person in terms you feel energy, you'll never forget the way that they feel. So when you feel them around, you'll be like, yep, he's around, she's around. I can feel this, I can feel this angel. You'll know the difference between their energy and the way that they feel. In terms of visual, so if you're clairvoyant and you see them in your mind's eye, yes, for most people they do look similar. However, if you have been brought up in quite a religious household, and you were kind of described how that particular angel looks, like, so for example, I said before, I've seen Archangel Gabriel and she's a she, whereas some faiths teach that Gabriel is a male. And if you have grown up in a household where it's like Archangel Gabriel is a male Archangel Gabriel, and you happen to be clairvoyant, then you would probably see Archangel Gabriel as a male, in the way that you were taught or programmed to see. Okay, so they come through and connect with us in a way where we would understand who they are. They want us to know who they are. Okay, so they will bring through props. They will, write. My angels have sometimes written words through, like in the sky, so that I would, like, in my mind's eye, so that I would know exactly who or what they're trying to say and who they are. And you can ask, and if you're clairaudient, you will hear them. Or if you're clairvoyant, like I said, they'll write their name out, or they'll show you a trumpet, and you're like, oh, okay, yes, you're Gabriel, because Gabriel carries a trumpet, right? So they will connect with you in the way that you are aware of them. Okay, so they'll make themselves known in the way that you are aware of them. Hope that answers your question, Kenny and Lisa. So, Emma, you see numbers that don't exist. Emma, are these repeated numbers? If you can share those numbers with me, I can maybe shed some light on those. So, Emma's asking, she's just saying that she sees numbers that don't exist on clocks. And so are these repeated? Are you seeing this same number over and over again, Emma? Oh, thank you for the love hearts. Yes, all threes usually. So are you saying it's like a 103 or a 503 or whatnot? Is that what you mean, Emma? There's a three in there all the time? Okay. Wait for Emma to get back. Okay. If anyone is still live and has questions, just pop them in the comment box. I have a few more questions from more of the audience that I've written down. Okay, so a few different numbers, but always in threes. Okay, yes, absolutely. Look, most numbers, you will find them. If you Google angel number and then put the number where it comes up in threes, you'll find the meaning. Numerology covers all numbers in all combinations, and there's a vibration with each number, and it has a meaning. Every single number has a vibration and a meaning. Okay, so you're seeing 555, 111, 333, and 444. They all have meanings. 555 is the number of changes, big changes. So that would typically be an Archangel Azrael number. You're going through big changes and transitions in your life. You'd see 555. 111 would be a master number, intuition, and the clairs and all that sort of thing. And yes, definitely you're on the right path. 1111, 333. I think that is the mind body spirit connection. A real spiritual number as well. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as well. So it's quite a spiritual number. So connecting the mind body with the spirit within. 444 is awakening. That's spiritual awakening. Wow, you do have all the angels around you, don't you, Emma? You're getting all the numbers. Change, spiritual awakening, intuition. Oh, amazing. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll move on to the next question. We've got, how do they send their messages to you if it isn't something you're open to? Okay, if your soul is ready, the message will come through. Okay, if you're not ready and you don't want to hear it and you don't want to know, like I said before, they can't interfere with your free will. So they will not scare you, they will not traumatize you by sending a message. They will just back off, and when you're ready, they'll come through. Okay, but they know when you're ready. And if it's something you're not open to, in the fact where you're not spiritual, you're not religious, and you're not into angels, you don't believe in them, it will start off as something as simple as what we've just mentioned, and that is you'll start seeing repeated numbers anywhere, and you'll be like, oh, I wonder what that means. Then you go and Google and you find out that it's linked to the spiritual world, and then your mind starts to get open and you start to go down the rabbit hole. Then you're not spiritual anymore. Coincidence or not, you can be the judge. Okay, so another question that I've got here is, are spirits angels? And are angels people from Earth or something entirely different? So I think I've already answered that one. This question was from Lisa. No, spirits are souls that have been incarnated on Earth and have passed over. So angels have never been on Earth, as in being a human. They're directly created through God. They're His messengers. They're here to help and support us. Though they don't have a life on Earth, their sole purpose is to look after us, and that's what they love to do. That is what they do. That's their purpose. So, um, anybody else who's live have a question for me before I keep going through the list? I've only got a couple left here. Any stories that you may want to share? Any interesting stories that you might want to share? Or any other questions? Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. So we've got are there good and bad angels? That's a good one. I've only ever seen good angels. I believe wholeheartedly that there are only good angels. Whether or not they have fallen in the past, I actually don't think they are capable of falling and becoming evil, because when something is so purely created, so closely to source, with such a high vibration of energy, it's incapable of lowering its vibration from such a high rate. Once you've seen the face of God, you don't go back. You don't go away from the light. So the higher we vibrate, same. Okay, same goes for us. The higher we vibrate, we don't go back. So no, I don't believe there's bad angels, bad spirits. Absolutely, demons. Absolutely. But angels, they know their purpose, and they never turn their face from God. Yes, I know that there is spiritual texts out there about fallen angels in the Bible and whatnot, but that's a whole nother Q&A session, which I won't go into tonight. And our ancestors would have related to most things as angels or deities, and they probably didn't know, much about the universe as we're kind of learning ourselves now. So I would not call those beings angels. I would call them something else. Okay, so let's have a look. There's one more question here, unless somebody who is live has another question for me. I'll finish off on this question. Can you see what angels and spirits are around my kids? Absolutely. If you have children and you give me the permission, I can tune in and see who's around them, whether they're angels, which angels, and for why, and which spirits and why. So that's absolutely a possibility. Okay, so hopefully all your answers or questions have been answered tonight, and thank you everybody for joining. Each every couple of weeks I will hold one of these, and if you have any burning themes or something that you want to know more about in the spiritual world, just DM me and ask me what you want me to do a Q&A session on, and I'll put together some content and we'll discuss together. Thank you everybody who put forward questions and shared their experiences as well. Oh, one more question from Lisa. Do angels come across in human form or just as colors and vibrations or a symbol? They have wings. They're humanoid with wings. And yes, they do have lots of vibrant colors around them. And yes, they have symbols that so that we can recognize who they are. Okay, I hope that answers your question. All right, everybody, have a lovely, lovely evening and go connect with your angels and see what work that you can do this year. All the best. Bye.